Hello and welcome to this week's SONAR market update. This is Zach Strickland, and I will be giving you guys yet another weekly recap of what we're seeing in the market as of today using our SONAR platform. For you guys out there that have the SONAR platform already, you can go into the SONAR platform at any point and check out our Knowledge Center and our website to get further information. Be sure to check out our weekly webinars that show up, and feel free to contact any one of us for any questions you may have. So without further ado, let's dig into the market. So basically what we're seeing this week is continued market growth, capacity tightness. This is not unusual for this time of year. June, as we mentioned, is a very big month for freight flows. As the weather warms up, construction starts are happening, and there's just a lot more activity in the broader market. So that's illustrated here with a 25.67 tender rejection index. And again, I'll recap what that means. So tender rejections are indications of carrier behaviors. So when a carrier is rejecting loads with more frequency than they have in the past, that is an indication that they are they don't have capacity, or they have a better deal out there somewhere else. So when we see tender rejections at levels that we haven't seen in several months, which you can see here, right before April 1st was the last time we saw the national tender rejections be at this level, and they look to be rising. So what I would expect to happen is the rest of this week, as we end the second quarter, the rejections will remain elevated, and you probably have already noticed the spot market is elevated as well. So let's check out a few markets and see what's going on everywhere else. And a lot of these major markets are showing similar activity. So LA, for instance, has had lots of activity starting in May, as we covered with the containers coming out of Chinese New Year, and they cooled off a little bit, but it seems to still be on a growth pattern, still up around 18%. They have not been at this level in a long time. It took them a while. This is holiday type rejection activity here. So the spot market is probably seeing quite a bit of activity. Let's check out Atlanta, another area that we have covered. And again, the outbound tender rejection index, you can check those out by hitting the OTRI.market symbol. ATL is the Atlanta market symbol. You can find those tickers also in the Knowledge Center of SONAR if you need to figure out what they are. Or you can simply go in here and type Atlanta, and you'll see all the tickers that are related to Atlanta. So again, Atlanta is showing even more elevation than the rest of the country, 29.48%. So that means that Atlanta is having a lot more trouble covering the capacity than the majority of the country. And again, these are national averages when we're talking about the country being at a 26% OTRI. So you have markets like Seattle, which have low outbound tender rejections, because if you have a truck in the Seattle market, you're wanting to get out with any freight that you can possibly find. In Atlanta, they don't have that problem. It is a hub, and there should not be this much activity in Atlanta in terms of rejections. It's a general sign that the overall market is still at a very active pattern. All right, I'm going to show you guys one more market in the Chicago market, just to give a quick overview, because they all kind of move independently of each other, and that's the Chicago market. It is going to show, again, elevated tender rejections. The last part of the quarter, and all these major markets seem to have quite a bit of activity. So I guess the lesson of the week is capacity is just tight just about anywhere. That means that you're going to see elevated rejections in some bigger markets, but you're also going to see a less willing to take some of these more localized or regional moves in the general freight market. So Chicago, for instance, is probably not going to have as many people willing to go to Minneapolis, which I'll illustrate real fast here. So the inbound to Minneapolis, which is kind of a hub, or a spoke, I should say, of the Chicago market, showing quite a bit of elevated tender rejections going into the market, basically illustrating that people aren't willing to go there, mainly because there's really not that much coming out, or not enough coming out. So that's the story this week. If you guys have any questions or are feeling interested, check out FreightWaves.com for any market insight articles, and also check out anything on the website in general. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to contact us. Thanks, and have a good week.